Sure.
Hello. Hello, Chloe. Hello.
Teacher.
Wow, Chloe, you look very different, Chloe. Your hairstyle looks very um, fashionable, very stylish. Is it a
Okay,
new
thank
new haircut?
I tie my hair today and
Okay.
I release them.
I see. That's great. So you can just tie it and it gives it a bit of a wave. And then, if
And
wow.
it be curly for free.
Really for free. That is great. That is good. Yes. Oh, hey, do you find, oh, sorry, Maureen is trying to get online, but Maureen has had, there's some power shortage in South Africa at the moment. Their internet is a little bit unstable. So you're going to have to put up with me, I'm afraid, and my curly hair. So there we are. Actually, just a question I want to ask you. The Taiwan people, Chinese people, they often have straight hair. Why is that right? Is that true? Or do you think a lot of Chinese people have curly hair? Or is it usually straight, isn't it? Straight hair. Is that right?
Many people has straight hair, but I am the curly hair.
Right, right. Is that
Mhm.
so? So it is. So maybe some part of your family heritage in China maybe have curly hair, you would say, or natural curly wavy hair. Maybe call it wavy hair. Let me just say, I think I regard myself as wavy. I kind of have wavy hair as well. Right, let's just move on to, yeah, they're just curious about that. We call it wavy
My
hair.
natural hair is curly.
Oh, is it, you call it curly, right? Would you say your natural hair is curly hair? Right, that's quite unusual. I mean, this is curly hair, but I think that's quite curly. That's very curly. That seems too curly, right? That seems naturally curly hair. Naturally curly hair. Maybe something more like this. Wavy hair. Let's just look at wavy.
Maybe.
Wavy hair. I would have thought yours might be wavy, Chloe, because more curly is more compressed, more tighter, more curly.
Oh.
I think yours, maybe you are naturally wavy. You've got wavy hair.
Wavy hair.
Wavy
Oh.
hair. I would think that is your look. But you can straighten it as well. But yeah, that's wavy is probably how I would put it down as. I don't know if there's a wavy, that translation, wavy hair. Sorry, I don't know if the translation is correct to you, Chloe, but yeah, very good. Yeah, wavy and then curly. You might want to check that through. I think yours is wavy. I mean, it's slightly wavy. I wouldn't call it very wavy. Maybe slightly. Personally, I would describe your hair maybe slightly wavy hair, but and I think what is the benefit, you think, of slightly wavy hair? Is it good to have slightly wavy hair, or would you prefer straight hair, or would you prefer?
Because I am naturally wavy hair, so I prefer to have straight hair.
Oh, right. Is that regarded? Is that more? Why is that? Is it fashionable to have straight hair in Asia?
Mm, it just for me just easy to manage.
Oh, easy to maintain. I wonder if wavy hair does it. Yeah. Sometimes, say, if my hair gets too long, if I wake up in the morning, it's like a bird's nest. I call it a bird's nest. Bird's nest. I'm just joking. But bird's nest. So it's a bit of a bird's nest. There we go. When I wake up in the morning. But then again, guys can be like that. So I wake up and it's all over the place. But so I kind of have to keep it short. But is it difficult to maintain hair that's quite long? Do you find it easy to
Mm,
maintain?
I think short hair is more easier to
Easier to
maintain.
wash, right?
and
Oh,
you and dry your hair is
oh yeah.
more quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that is very true. Yeah, very helpful in winter time. By the way, how is the weather in Taiwan at the moment, Chloe? Is the weather?
Mm.
How is your? Because I just interesting the point there about when you're drying your hair. What happens if you don't dry your hair quickly, or you don't dry it properly? You know, and you go outside. Do you think there's
Mm,
danger of getting a headache or something for to some people?
my parents and my grandparents also tell me you need to dry your hair quickly after you wash your hair because if you don't dry your hair quickly you will be headache in the
Headache
future.
in the future. That's
they
right.
they said.
I've been told that too. Yes. Yeah. Stephanie tells me all the time, got to dry your hair. I said, I don't get much hair. I got a little bit of hair. But yeah, I just get the towel and just. But yes, it's. Yeah. Do you think it's true? Do you think it's true, Chloe? That I get headaches not that often, but maybe I
I
got no.
think uh, I uh, sometimes I have headache, but I don't know the reason uh, uh,
Is to
the
do.
reason that is I didn't dry my hair quickly or another reason.
Well, it could be coming to my class and you get a headache from my class. You never know. So I mean, it can happen at any time. I just hope it
I
doesn't.
think I think sometimes I have headaches. It's because I saw my manager.
Yes, that's true. Yes, yes. The management, there should be a term for that. Yes. Work headache management. Oh, yes. Actually, headaches can be quite an issue in how you cope with life and how it can build up pressure, a lot of pressure. Headaches come from pressure. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Chloe, and how have you been? How have you been? It's this last few. I was asking you about the weather. How is the weather now in Taiwan? Is it a bit
Mm,
like this? The weather in
no.
Oh, yes. How is
It's rained this week and cold.
and cold? What impact does that have on people? Yeah, does that mean people catch cold a lot now? The weather being cold and wet? Do a lot of people now have cold? Yes. Yes, anyone has cold?
uh, there are nobody around me.
Great. I wonder whether Beto It's good for hot springs, isn't it? Beito is a good time to go to hot spring. I really miss that, you know, in the winter time, go to hot spring, you know, and, you know, just look like a roasted pig afterwards, but never mind. But it's so hot and beautiful. It's just so good to clean your body, you know, and feel more stronger. But like you say, it gets very cold in winter in Taiwan. It feels colder, doesn't it, Chloe? The weather feels colder than what it really is. Great. And how have you been, by the way, Chloe? How have you been this last few days or last week? Anything interesting you
Nothing interesting because this month I have a night shift for
Right.
whole month, so I didn't have time to join the class.
Oh, are you on night shift tonight, Chloe? Are you working tonight?
Today is my day off.
Right. Hey, oh, good. Yes. You know, that's it. How many days a week do you work, Chloe? Is it 5 days or 5 nights?
Mm,
6 nights a week?
not not sure. We have nine days for day off in a month.
Wow. Oh, it's shift work, and you can maybe organize your time off work. So it could be 2 weeks all in one, then have more time off. Okay, yeah. That's how do you feel about nighttime shift, nighttime work? How does that feel for you?
I think it's better. Uh, uh, it's a good shift in the winter because it's difficult to wake up early.
That's an interesting one. Very good point, Chloe. It is hard to wake up in the morning. I guess I'm quite lucky. I kind of get up early. I have to get my son up early, drag him out of bed. The weather here, it's dark when you get up at 7:30. It's still dark. So yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, I can understand that. I think Stephanie would be good for nighttime work. She's very good at nighttime. Right, anyway, good. Okay, Chloe, let's have a look at the movies. Today we're looking at movie myths. Myths. Now let me just help you know what that is. Movie. Do you know what that might be at all? Myth. Have you heard that term before? Myth.
No.
Right. Oh, I can hear the dust carts going outside. Right. The dustbin vehicle.
Ambulance.
Oh, ambulance. Okay. Right. Oh dear. Yes. It's hope they're okay. Right. So myths. It's actually, Chloe, I could send you my file if you wanted to send me your email. I could happily send you my PowerPoint if you're interested.
Okay.
You can send it on the chat box if you like. So this is just mine if you're interested. That way, sometimes some students ask me for that, so I thought maybe I can. I think I've already got your email. I think I've sent you.
Yes, you sent me the email last week.
That's right, Chloe. That's fantastic. Yes, okay. Then if you're interested to, what I do is I summarize some of the scripts. So I look through it, and then we look at some of the main words, and I'm hoping this helps. The website can help as well. Okay, Chloe. This is about movie myths. It's debunking. Debunked is an American term. What it means is it's debunking is to explain, explode. It's to I'm thinking a better term for this. Expose that it's not real. Debunking is not a word we often use, but it's exposing the truth. So it's sort of, but it's more like deflating it, or puncturing, quashing. It's supposed to be that it's something that is explained, but it's actually then reducing it down to, it's not, it's blown out of proportion, so then they explain it to what it really is, and it's sort of deflated back down like a balloon. So you're letting the air out of a balloon, debunking it, meaning that it's going to be brought back to reality. And the normal reality of a balloon is just when it's flat and very, and then not when it's blown up. So myth, let's see now, myth, yeah, I've already got it here, isn't it? Myth is
the story of God.
Yes, myth. It's a myth that my lessons are funny. Anyway, just to say, myth is yeah, something about some story, a phenomenon. Let's see, it's a false belief, maybe. False belief idea. Misrepresentation of the truth. This could be a misrepresentation. So, yes, it's a myth that I know my English inside out. Hey, right. Let's hope not. Anyway, so let's see. Let's see what we've got with this video. I'm going to put it on slow. Chloe, okay. I'll put the Chinese version on.
Okay.
Let's see. It's about 4 minutes, a bit longer than normal, but we're going to look at, I think, 8 different things that happen in movies that really are not real. Okay. Have you, by the way, have you seen a movie recently? Have you seen any movie?
I suddenly watch movie.
Right. We'll come on to that later, and we'll have that in the back of our thoughts, because movies, there's a new James Bond movie coming out, and I wonder just how much of it is real. But science fiction, well, fiction has the hint there. Right, let's watch the video and see what it has to say.
This episode of Life Noggin is brought to you by AJ Plus. Hey there, I'm Locko.
I'm Evan. You can call me the Nerd Writer.
And today we're teaming up in this video to debunk 8 common movie myths that run rampant in Hollywood.
Hollywood is known for often bending the truth when it comes to science, so we want to set them straight.
Alright, let's do this. A commonly used movie myth involves having lasers in space. The colorful battle scenes are nice to look at, but they bring up a lot of problems. Firstly, in space, we would not be able to see the laser beam. If you shine a laser pointer through a medium that scatters light, you could see it. But remember, space is a vacuum. There's nothing there to scatter the light. So you wouldn't even be able to see the laser until it reaches your target. And on that note, in some movies, the lasers seem to take a second or two to reach the target, but keep in mind lasers are just light, which travels at a specific speed. The speed of light. Therefore, these space battles would not only be invisible, but extremely short.
A science myth that came about from the Star Wars films is that asteroid belts are really dense enough to require careful navigation. In reality, the asteroid belt located between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter is so large that if you were standing on an asteroid, it would be difficult to see its neighbor without the use of a telescope. Think about it this way. While it's estimated that there are millions of asteroids in the asteroid belt, there is also a massive amount of space that they occupy. It's unlikely that you'll find them all grouped together in one relatively small area.
A common trend in action movies is to shoot a lock to make it open. Now this is not completely incorrect, but it's incredibly oversimplified. Most handguns won't quite do the job, but a high-powered rifle will. However, the shrapnel that comes from flying off the lock could do some serious damage, especially if the lock is shot at point-blank range.
In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is an awesome movie, we see Cap free falling without a parachute and landing in the water, seemingly unscathed. While we aren't sure of his exact speed, we can assume that it was around terminal velocity. When he enters the water, he suddenly starts to decelerate, resulting in a force of potentially hundreds of Gs. A force like that can cause broken bones and even death. But then again, he is a character in the Marvel Universe, so he could probably handle it.
Of course, we can't have an action movie without an explosion. And where there are explosions, there are people casually walking away from them. I'm talking to you, every action star ever. What these movies fail to consider is the damaging shockwaves of the explosion and any shrapnel that can come flying around. Immediately after an explosion, the shockwaves can travel many times faster than the speed of sound, and they're usually followed by very strong winds, which working together can knock down many structures. In a Mach 1.3 shockwave, the speed of wind is already stronger than the fastest tornado's wind speed.
Speaking of explosions, movies make it seem like all you have to do to make something explode is shoot it. But it's not actually that easy. If you try to do this with just a normal gun, it won't work because the bullet does not provide enough of a spark to ignite the gasoline. An explosion occurs when a substance rapidly produces gas and heat. In order for the fuel to combust and cause an explosion, the reaction requires some type of ignition, and a bullet simply won't do the trick. Thanks for the lies, Hollywood.
Amnesia is also used incorrectly in many films, resulting in the character losing their self-identity. However, in real life, most people with amnesia primarily have problems with their short-term memory, making them unable to retain new information. Also, even though head injuries can result in temporary confusion and problems with memory, they usually don't result in severe amnesia. The type of amnesia that movies like to over-exaggerate is called retrograde amnesia, which people are not able to recall events that happened before the onset of the amnesia. However, this is normally caused by damage to the hippocampus and temporal lobe in the brain.
Lastly, we can't make this video without mentioning cinematic car chases. One of my personal favorites is the yacht scene from Too Fast, Too Furious. In this scene, a car acts like a projectile as it jumps over the water to land on a yacht. The car passengers are, of course, uninjured. Granted, it is not physically impossible for the car to reach the yacht as long as they were traveling at the correct speeds, but it's highly unlikely that no one in the car was hurt. The force of the impact could easily have caused any number of injuries, including whiplash, punctured lungs, and concussions, let alone a few cuts and bruises.
But in Hollywood, movie makers can make their own laws of physics. It might not be the truth, but it's definitely entertaining. What's one movie myth that we didn't mention? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you guys come back every Monday and Thursday for a brand new video.
Hey everybody, if you...
Very good. Okay then. Right. Yeah, interesting thoughts there about some of the comments. Any particular opinions at the moment that you have, Chloe? Any thoughts there? I'm just going to bring up some ideas. I thought G-force, something that came to mind. G-forces, that's the gravity. Okay, G-force. This is something that you will be dealing with in the airline, I think, as well, isn't it? G-forces. And of course, meant by G-force is the gravity, the force acting on the body, the result of acceleration of gravity, units of acceleration, so the gravity. So this is the g-force. So 12 pounds object going into, I guess that's something that, you know, in the airline industry, I think a lot of pilots have to go through some, I think fighter pilots have to deal with the g-force, how to cope with the pressure on the brain, isn't it? The average value of 65 Gs, gosh, could be, I think the blood goes to the head, I think. Right, okay. I think the other one I wanted to bring up was Mach. Have you heard of this term? Mach speed. Right, Mach speed. Mach. Right, the speed of the aircraft. See if we've got it here. Mach. Right, the Mach speed. Supersonic Mach. Right, okay, I'll do a conversion. Let's do Mach. Converter to miles per hour, maybe to kilometers per hour, maybe kilometers per hour. Max speed. So if we do, let's see now, max speed. We've got one here. It's the max speed of, right, so Mach 1 is 1,200 kilometers per hour. Mach 2 would be 2,500 kilometers an hour. Mach 3, 3,700. Mach 4, almost 5,000. So I suppose aircraft, what speed does aircraft fly at, Chloe? Would you say that's commercial aircraft? Do you know what the speed of a plane normally flies at? Is it about 500, is it 400, 300 miles an hour? Maybe the aircraft, oh, that's miles, isn't it? I wonder what the speed of a normal...
No.
Actually, I'll just have a look at
I have no idea.
commercial airline speeds. Let's see, let's have a look. It's commercial airline speed, I think it's about 300. No, I'm wrong. Okay, so commercial jets, aircraft cruise at 400 to 500 knots. Okay, so this is about 740. Wow, that's faster than I thought. 700, cruising at 740 kilometers an hour. Oof. So maybe about 800 kilometers an hour. God, that's fast. Wow. I suppose that makes sense. So I didn't know either, but I've learned something there. So anyway, it's a very low speed. Hello, Western. Yes, we're just looking at max speed. Max speed. Okay.
I need to eat my dinner.
Oh yes, yes, dinner. Do you know, that's a good question about movies. We're talking about movies at the moment. How often? Yeah, in a movie. Just to say, how often do you see them eating something in a movie? I mean, I never see them go to the toilet in a movie, you know? Have you ever seen that, you know? I mean, okay.
Yes, I've seen a movie have a scene is going a toilet.
Right, okay. You know, Deadpool, for example. Have you seen this, Chloe? Deadpool before? Okay, Weston, I guess you may not be allowed to watch Deadpool, but it's got a lot of bad language.
I have watched Deadpool before.
Have you seen it?
first 10 minutes, my dad and mom watched with me, and dad found that it is many.
Bad language.
Yes.
It is.
Then my dad off.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, yeah, I think the Deadpool, unfortunately, the language is not good, but it's done in tongue and cheek. Tongue and cheek. It's done in a funny way. It's done in humorous ways, not to be taken seriously. So the one thing I would say about Deadpool is that it's done in a way that's not to be taken seriously, but it is unfortunately uses a lot of bad language. It's ridiculous movie stunts. Can you remember any ridiculous movie stunts? Anything that you've seen? How often do you see someone
Spider-Man.
driving away from
You
an
mean some
explosion like this?
ridiculous things in movie?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
I have watched the movie is funny.
It's just, I mean, that's an example whereby walking away from an explosion, just walking away from it, it's not real. So the thing is, I have a question here. How would movies be if they have to be real? Would they be interesting? If they have to follow the laws of physics, they have to be real. You think
You mean
would
the
they be?
movie need to be real?
Yeah, if a movie has to be real, you know, has to follow the reality. They can't exaggerate. Okay, the problem is
You can
they
use special.
exaggerate. Yeah, exaggerate.
I think if action movie is like real life,
Right,
it
right,
they will not be interest.
right. Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? Real life. If it has to be real, it'll be too boring. And I think that's the problem, isn't it? Movies today, if you're going to be interested to get an audience to watch, you've got to make the movies as interesting as possible. I suppose it depends on the movie, doesn't it, really, the type of movie. If it has to be an action movie, then you really have to ask yourself, how does an action movie attain interest? What do you think it's going to be like in the future, Chloe? Just your thoughts there. If we've got so much action now, will people get... Have you heard of blasé before? Blasé. This is something that... This just a thought, a blasé Western as well. Blasé. I'm going to try to spell it. I don't usually do. Blah. Oh God, here we go.
Black Friday.
Blasé. Oh yes, blasé.
Blasé.
Friday. I'm so used to shopping. You know, the so many sales on all the time. It's blasé. I'm not that interested. Apathetic to play excitement. So blasé. I think it's French. Looks like blas. Sorry, let's just double check this. Have I got that right? Unimpressed or indifferent to something because one has experienced or seen it so often before. Blasé. Yeah, it's French term. I'll see if I can get the translation for you. I'm not sure this is going to work, but have you ever? Right? Sorry. Right, I'm going to try something different.
Blasé. No meaning.
Let me see. Blasé. I'll try. Hey, it sounds like my new computer's coming through. Hey, I'm going to have a better computer next week, so.
Okay,
I'm going to have my full potential.
Can you quote some throw some excess thing, then you can be faster.
Yes, that's right. I've got to catch up to my computer speed now. Okay, blasé. Yes. Yes, my computer's got too blasé. And I have to try to build it up. So blasé.
Glasses.
Blasé. Is that blasé? Right. So what it means is you're so used to it. Blasé. Okay. Like my classes are blasé because you're so used to it, you know. There's nothing interesting because it's just the same old thing. Well, anyway, the thing is this. Blasé. Is there any kind of movie that you feel blasé about? Like, for example, let me give you an example. Chloe, you probably might find this very agreeable. Or, Weston, you may find this... Okay, so let's do Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious 9! Whoa! 9! How did they do that? How is it possible to get 9 movies? Fast and Furious. Incredible. So, Chloe, do you feel excited to watch Fast and Furious 9?
I don't like the action movie.
So, would you say you feel... Okay, Weston, what about you? Would you be interested to watch Fast and Furious 9? What about Fast and Furious 10? 11.
What is?
Have you
It's
seen
also drive a car.
people guys driving cars? Yes. Oh, big cars, small cars, little cars, shaped cars. I don't know, blue cars, red cars, white cars. Oh, it's all good, isn't it? You can watch it 9 times. Do you think you're going to feel blasé? You know, you've seen it once, and then you see it again, and then you go for number 3, number 4. Oh, just warming up. Number 5, movie 5. Number 6, movie. Hey, just warming up again. Number 7, number 8, number 9. So, Chloe, if you were put into a room and there's a TV there, and we're going to say, right, Chloe, I'm going to put on Fast and Furious 1. You got to stay there. Okay, finish that. We're going to do Fast and Furious 2. How are you going to feel when you get to Fast and Furious 9? Happy?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I will watch again.
Why?
And maybe we will watch Marvel again.
So maybe, why do you think it might be? Because you might be feeling blasé. You're so used, it's called apathetic to, or unimpressed, because you've experienced it and it's just, you've seen it so often. Can I say something about Christmas?
Okay.
Christmas, hey, great. Great, Christmas, music. Okay, great, music. Oh, Mariah Carey. Have you ever heard this song before? I think you have, but let's just do it. Oh no, that's a different one, is it? All right, yes, Mariah Carey. And great song, yeah? Because it's coming up to Christmas. Oh. Seen any Santa Claus? Is this Justin Bieber? So that's Mariah Carey. I just have to say, have you heard that song many times before? Have you heard it often? Yes, I think you have.
Yes.
We hear
And
it.
our hotel play the Christmas music whole month.
Oh, save me. Okay, yes, Chloe, absolutely. It's on all the time. And that feeling of Christmas, you can get blasé because it's on too many times. Should be a great song, but ooh. So anyway, let's have a look at these myths. Blasé can be like that. So I'm concerned about if the movie is going to keep going more and more ridiculous, they become normalized. And when they become normalized, you just don't have the same feeling. But then again, young generation, they'll probably find something new. So normalized, it just becomes a normal feeling, but really it's an abnormal experience, but it's just normalized. Right, okay. Unfortunately, that song is now in my head. I wish I hadn't have done that because it's going to be in my head all day. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a read through this. Are we okay for just have a look at some of the words? We'll just see how we go along, okay? All right then, so Weston, if you could start, are you okay?
Okay.
We're going to explore these 8 myths. These are untrue things that happen in movies. Here we go.
Today we are teaming up in this video to debunk 8 common movie myths that run rampant in Hollywood. Hollywood is known for often bending the truth when it comes to science, so we want to set them straight. Alright, let's do this. A commonly used movie myth involves having lasers in space.
Good one, that's right, yes. Today we're teaming up in this video to debunk, debunk Weston, okay? It's going to be to undermine, to clarify, debunk, to blow up, like a balloon, okay? Imagine a blow-up balloon and you're going to let the air out. Okay, and the air has gone out of the balloon, it's just tiny. Okay, we're going to find the truth. Rampant, it's everywhere. Rampant, it's everywhere. Rampant, I hope that's clear. Okay then, Chloe, all right, let's have a look at the blue one.
Okay, the colorful battle scenes are nice to look at, but they bring up a lot of problems. Firstly, in space, we would not be able to see the laser beam. If you shine a laser pointer through a medium that scatters light, you could see it. But remember, space is a vacuum. There's nothing there to scatter the light.
Well done, great effort. So you won't be able to see the laser until it reaches your target. And on that note, in some movies, the lasers seem to take a second or two to reach the target. But keep in mind, lasers are just light which travels at a specific speed of light. Therefore, these space battles would not only be invisible, but extremely short. So a bit boring, isn't it? So I guess Star Wars, you know, the Star Wars battle will be a bit boring, you know, it'll be gone, finished. Oh, that's not interesting, yeah? So that wouldn't really be interesting for the movies. Okay, right, Weston, have a look at the green one. You can, please, thanks.
In Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which is an awesome movie, we see Cap free-falling without a parachute and landing in the water. Mainly unscathed. What we are sure of is the exact speed. We can assume that it was around terminal velocity when he enters the water, he suddenly starts to decelerate,
Decelerate. Well done. Yes, good.
resulting in a force of quotiently hundreds of G-forces. A force like that can cause broken bones and even death, but then again he is a character in Marvel Universe.
Yes, okay. Okay, yeah, I actually meant the first paragraph, but that's okay, Weston. That's great. Okay, we'll just go in reverse. I'll do the middle one, and then Chloe, you do the green one. Okay, so a common trend in action movies is to shoot a lock to make it open. No, this is not completely incorrect, but it's incredibly oversimplified. Most handguns won't quite do the job, but a high-power rifle will. However, the shrapnel are the bits that will fly out. The shrapnel that comes from flying off the lock or the door or the area could do some serious damage, especially at point blank range. Point blank range, if you're right close up, point blank, the whole thing could come flying in your face. Okay. Okay, Chloe, if we'll do the green one, please.
Okay, the science myth that came about from a Star Wars films is that asteroid belts are really dense, dense enough to require careful navigation. In reality,
Yes,
reality, the asteroid
Asteroid?
belt asteroid belt located between the orbits or Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter is so large that if you were standing on an asteroid, it would be difficult to see its neighbor without the use of the telescope.
Well done.
There's also a massive amount of space that they occupy.
Well done. Yes, great effort. Yes, it's asteroid. Yes, asteroids are like a meteor flying. Weston, have you ever caught an asteroid? No. Not likely, right? So asteroid, they go really fast through the air, right? So orbit goes around. The moon orbits the Earth, you know, orbits the Earth. So yes, I think that's do you ever get stars when you get hit on the head? Do you have little stars orbiting your head?
No.
Right, you've got the idea. Okay, right. Okay, this is quite long now. So, so Weston, would you like to have a go at reading this? Okay.
Of course, we can't have an action movie without an explosion, and where there are explosions, there are people casually walking away with them. What these movies fail to consider is the damage from shock waves from explosion and the shrapnel from it.
Yeah, shrapnel.
Immediately after explosion, a shock wave can travel many times faster than the speed of sound, and are usually followed by very strong winds, which working together can knock down many structures. In a Mach 1.5 shock wave, the speed of wind is already stronger than the fastest tornado with spin.
Yeah, it's in a Mach. It's a Mach 1.3. Okay,
Mach 1.3.
1.3 Mach. We are looking at the Mach speed. Very fast, Western Mach speed. Have you ever watched Star Trek? Don't know if you've heard Star Trek before. Oh no, they do warp, don't they? Warp speed, which I don't know what that is. But anyway, Mach, I think warp's Mach 1, Mach 2, warp 1, warp 2. Anyway, the Mach speed, I think was something like about 1,200 miles per hour, I think it is, the Mach speed. So Mach 1, about 1,200. Mach 2 could be speed of sound, and then you get the sound barrier. Right, okay. I want to apologize. This is incorrect. Should not be an S there. Explosion. Immediately after an explosion, a shock wave. So sorry about that. This should not be a plural because of the A. Okay. Right, okay. Chloe, are you okay? Try that.
Okay, speaking of explosions, movies make it seem easy to explode things just by shooting it. If you try to do this with just a normal gun, it won't work. It won't work because the bullet does not provide enough of the spark to ignite the gasoline. Explosion occurs when a substance rapidly produces gas and heat. In order for the fuel to combust and cause an explosion, the reaction requires some type of the ignition, and a bullet simply won't do the trick.
Yes. Actually, just again, these are just this writing is a little bit like talking, speech writing. So actually, just to let you know, we do not start a sentence with and, but this is just talking English. So I just want you to know, I don't want you to get the wrong understanding of the rules of writing here. That's not quite correct, the and at the start, but I think you know that. So it's just one of the rules we have. Any questions so far? Chloe, are you okay so far?
What is bullet?
But say again.
Bullet.
A bullet. A bullet.
B-U-L-L.
Bullet. Right. A bullet. Right. Bullets. Bullets.
Bullet.
Is the projectile. How would you describe a bullet, Weston?
Bullet. Bullet.
Bullet. Any ideas? You see, many movies have bullets. If you've got to have a bullet, bullets is from a gun. Yeah, it comes from bullets. Do you know Hollywood has a lot of guns, don't they? Hollywood movies, American movies. Do you think that Hollywood have too many, maybe America has too many guns, you know, the gun law in America. Maybe that's why the movies are so many guns. Weston, have you ever been shot before? Have you ever been shot by a bullet before? Crazy question, right? Huh? Okay, there's a little, where is it? There you go. There's a little, I can't tell here, but anyway, there's a little, maybe you can't see, it's a long time ago. Can't see it now. There's a little black there. There we are. That's an old bullet wound from when I used to go grouse beating. But that's a pellets. It's called a pellet. It's a bullet pellet. It's a pellets. Pellets. It's a small type of bullet. It's pellets. Those are pellets, but I wasn't shot by that. But pellet rifle. Pellet rifle. Yes. These when they go grouse beating. This is another story. Grouse beating. An old story. Anyway, so I'm going off on target. But we used to go walking, and we would then. This is a long time ago. Wild birds would rise up in the air, and then the guns. There would be shooters, and they would try to shoot birds as they're flying over. And it was a delicacy, these birds, and they would be hiding in these shooting butts. And the grouse beaters would come towards them. So there always has to be one. Anyway, a bird went right between the shooting butts and the grouse beaters, who were standing right in front of the. It flew right in front of me and saw boom, boom, boom. And it's my turn. Okay, here we come. It's flying towards me. The bird's still flying. That person doesn't. He's okay. He's okay. Comes to me. I knew this guy's got. He's very excited. Oh, come on, come on. He's like, come on, go. I thought, oh, why me? Anyway, here it goes. And they shoot lots of little pellets. Goes out, and misses the bird. And, here we go. Anyway, didn't go too far in, but it's my little movies. Too many guns in America. So bullets. I hope that little story helps. Bullets. Okay. You're not allowed to take guns on planes, so that's good news. No bullets. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So Chloe, are you okay to try? This is called amnesia. Amnesia is. Do you suffer from amnesia? Amnesia. This is amnesia. Is a type of sleeping disorder. Right, amnesia. Amnesia. One moment, please. Amnesia. 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 Right. So amnesia is supposed to be sleep. Amnesia. Amnesia. No. Amnesia. No. You don't. Amnesia is about you don't remember. Have you ever had any amnesia where you've done something and you can't remember? Right. Something. Forgetfulness. Have you ever had any amnesia for like Weston? Have you ever forgotten something? Amnesia.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And sometimes very.
Yes. I hope you've never forgotten your homework.
Sometimes your homework.
Forget the homework. Oh, yes. I hope you don't forget your school. Right. Amnesia. Yes. Don't suffer from it. Okay. Some people struggle with amnesia if they have drunk alcohol. Okay. That's something that they've drunken a lot of alcohol. They won't remember maybe what they've done. So I'm assuming that you're both fine. Right, okay then. So, right, Chloe, let's have a read. Okay.
The first one.
Yes, please, yeah.
Amnesia. Amnesia is also used incorrectly in many films. However, in real life, most people with an amnesia,
Amnesia.
amnesia
Amnesia.
primarily primarily have problems with their short-term memory, making them unable to retain new information. Also, even though head injuries can result in temporary confusion and problems with memory, they usually don't result in
Severe. Severe.
severe amnesia. Amnesia.
Amnesia. Amnesia. That's good.
Amnesia. The type of amnesia in that movies like to over exaggerate is called the retrograde amnesia, which people are not able to recall events that happened before the onset of the amnesia. However, this is normally caused by damage to the hippocampus and temporal lobe in the brain.
Well done. Okay. Yes. Hippocampus. Hippocampus. Yes. Would you like to have a hippocampus for Christmas? Okay. Sounds like a hippo. Anyway, not hippocampus is part of the brain. Okay. So, just want to help you here. Amnesia. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. When we try to read English, what we try to do is break the vowels down better. So they're the A, E, I, O, U. And what you try to do is put the word around it. So ni, si, amnesia. So it sounds four sounds. Amnesia. 4 sounds. Okay, so try to break the vowel with a word. So vowel. So like equals a vowel. So then usually mix it with vowel plus word or consonant, letter, vowel plus consonant or letter, and then put a gap, vowel plus letter, or maybe like a letter plus vowel. Things like that, even letter. Okay, so that's amnesia. I hope you're not suffering from amnesia. That means like, yeah, is that okay, Bob? Oh, sorry, Weston, yes? Okay, my name, I'm amnesia, I'm forgetting things. Okay, so, not good, right? So, what's the benefit of having amnesia? Like, for example, Weston, if you have amnesia and you go to school, say, my God, it's a new school. You go home, you forget school, come back, wow, it's another new school. Brilliant, wow. Yes. Well, go to work, Chloe, and come home. You got amnesia, come back, 24-hour amnesia. Oh, come home. Hey, it's a new home. Wow.
That's good.
Whoa, that's a nice cat. Oy. All right, so amnesia. Things that, right. So just keep in mind, we'll practice that another time. Right, okay, Weston, I will finish off with this. Okay, lastly, yes, all yours. Right. Are you okay, Weston? It's the yellow box when you're ready. I'll do a countdown. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Lastly, cinematic car chases.
Yes.
One of my personal favorites is the
Yacht. Yes.
yacht scenes from Too Fast, Too Furious. In this scene, a car acts like a projectile as it jumps over the water to land on a yacht.
Yacht.
The car passengers are, of course, uninjured. Granted, it is not physically impossible for the car to reach the yacht as long as they were traveling at the correct speed, but it's highly unlikely that no one in the car was hurt. The force of the impact could easily have caused any number of injured, including whiplash, punctured lungs, and concussions, let alone a few cuts and bruises. It might not be true, but it's definitely entertaining.
Yes, definitely entertaining. That was well done, Weston. Yeah. Punctured lungs, and this is one here is called concussions. Concussions. Have you ever been concussed? Here we go. Concussion. Okay. Concussion in, say, sport. Concussion in sport. Here we go. Something to do with brain injury. Something about, especially with rugby, they get knocked out. Concussion, when their heads bang together and the brain rattles in the head. I'm just thinking about concussion, say, happens in boxing as well, isn't it? Concussion. So usually when there is a clash of heads, there we go. That's a beautiful picture, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Ooh. Do you know, it's like the movie, isn't it? When you get like, oh. You know, it's like a bit like that, isn't it? Anyway, so unfortunately, when they hit the head, you get dizzy. Weston, have you ever been concussed?
Concussed.
Have you been concussed before? Concussed. Have you been hit on the head? Oh, wow. Dizzy, yes. Chloe? I hope you haven't. Have you ever been concussed before, Chloe? Have you ever feel like been hit on the head and been, oh?
No.
See, double vision. That's good. That's great. I used to play rugby. Fortunately, not quite concussed. So I like to think so. Right. Okay. Well done. Any other questions? I'll send this to you. And Weston, if I do get, I can ask Stephanie for. Maybe your mother has an email. I could maybe send it to you. I'll tell you what there is. I do have a list of these terms which you can find on the video itself. But when you always have a look at the movie, the next time you go to a movie, okay, see which ones do you think are real. Just a side thought there. What was the last movie you saw, Weston? What was the last movie you saw? Or what
Last
movie?
movie.
Yeah. Or maybe one that's lots of action movie.
Action movie. I forgot.
Think it over. Chloe, have you seen any aeroplane movies? Like,
Airplane.
do you ever watch sometimes like some passenger plane and it's a disaster movie? Do you know? I think a lot of people in the airline industry will look at these movies and think, that's not true, that's rubbish, or like Gravity, science fiction, like the movie Gravity. I think a lot of people said Gravity. You know, just seen the movie Gravity? It's coming up. Let's see if we got that here. Gravity movie. This is another one before we finish. Gravity movie. Be a lot faster next week. Gravity movie. Have you ever seen this movie before? I don't know if it's very tense.
No.
This movie. Yes. And so yeah, it's very good. But they say you can't hear any noise in space. So many myths are debunked in this movie when it comes to space. It's all silent. And so I think this is, but it's when you see movies like this, enjoy it, but a lot of it's not real. So anyway, so yeah, look out for, I'm sure lots of Christmas movies are coming out right now, and I'm sure they're really good fun, but sadly, they're probably just, they're fantasy. And I think that's okay, so long as you know it is, and not taken real. When you're doing your training, Chloe, I'm sure that some of these movies are not what you need to follow. Okay, very good. Any final questions before I send an email to you, Chloe? And yeah, Weston, do you think some of these PowerPoint files may help you at all? I guess you've got a lot of homework to do. Just maybe watch the movie. Yeah, that's. You know, I think one thing is it's about learning about reading and just knowing how to break up the word. Okay, you know, lots of words and just smash them up, chop them up into little, put a bit of salt and pepper on them as well. But all you have to do is you've got, when you break up a word, I've got it here, then all you have to do is just use these little, recognize the vowel, it's all about the vowels, and then break them up. But unfortunately, some words are not necessarily English, and so I think some words don't make sense. I think I did see one in here, which I can't find right now, but one which there are certain words don't make sense in English because they are actually originally from another country. Blasé is one, which is not quite correct the way we normally spell it logically. That's the frustration I have with English, is something like blasé can be very frustrating. So, but that's just, but it is just a different, like ballet, a bullet. A bullet is okay, but a ballet versus bullet. Just one word, one letter, one letter. And that's bullet, and this is ballet. Big difference, because it's a French word. So be aware of that, but keep practicing. That's what we'll do. Okay, any final questions? Sorry, I've taken a long time. Okay, all right, Weston, I'll let you go to sleep and relax. Have a lovely evening, and really great to see you. And let's talk soon, okay? Okay, all the best.
Bye.
Bye-bye.